Good morning, Novi, and welcome back to the Cat's Eye News. I'm Ryan Steele.
And I'm Wynn Scott.
You may have seen some dogs roaming the hallways, but don't worry, they're therapy dogs. Here's Sheridan with more.
With an increase of mental illnesses in recent years, therapy dogs have been proven to help calm people and improve their overall happiness. 2 teachers at Novi have these dogs and bring them to school to spread their cheer.
Therapy dog was never something on my radar. Einstein came in with me, and he was laying on stage right, and there were saws, and there were kids yelling, there was music blaring, and all kinds of things, and the auditorium manager at the time, Tom Mitchell, looked at him and said, you know, he could totally be a therapy dog. Nothing bothers this dog. I adopted Einstein out of the Ionia County Animal Shelter when he was somewhere around 10 weeks. And I adopted him, and my brother actually and his wife adopted his brother, a litter mate. And so we had seen these puppies on Pet Finder and had wanted to adopt litter mates. And so we went to meet them and ended up deciding to adopt 2 of the litter. There were 12 puppies in the litter. The only thing he actually had to do to become a therapy dog was pass the test for Therapy Dogs International. But in order to prepare him for the test and also to sort of discipline myself to practice regularly, we first did his Canine Good Citizen training, and then he took the test for and passed to be what's called a Canine Good Citizen. And then we took another class just to really drill home the skills you'd have to do in the test. I think he generally makes people feel better, but he spent a lot of time in hospitals, particularly the University of Michigan DU hospital, when my dad was in the hospital for rather long stretches of time. And I think that's where I've seen the most joy. Is there were a couple patients who were on my dad's floor, specifically about a year ago right now, who they met him when they would be out and then say, oh, well, when you're back, can you come to my room? I'm in this room. And so we had some people we visit every time we visited my dad, and that was really great, because I think a lot of times people are in the hospital and they have pets at home, and people can come visit them, or their pets might be far away, and either way they don't get to see their pets. And so it's really gratifying to be able to give them just a couple minutes with a dog.
We are still training for Milo to be a therapy dog. He is just like in the midst of practicing. We go to dog obedience training at Dan Morris Training Academy at least once a week, and he has to learn to obey commands immediately. He helps out in general, and generally when people see him, they become very happy. We originally got him for my son who had anxiety issues, and he kind of helps with that. But generally you can't resist that face. So we got Milo when he was 10 weeks. So he was not a therapy dog. It's just because of his personality and his temperament, he's very calm. I mean, he just turned a year old. So he's actually pretty calm for a dog so young. And because of the reaction he gets from people, that's what made me want to make him an official therapy dog.
From the Cat's Eye News, this is Sheridan Hansen. You guys are funny.
Prom tickets are still available this week at all lunches. However, prices have been raised to $80. Make sure you have your table arrangement, meal option, and guest forms complete before buying your ticket. Don't miss your chance to spend a night under the stars.
The first review session for AP Microeconomics will be held today after school from 2:10 to 3:30 in room 208. There will be practice tests, and students will have access to their tests and quizzes from first semester. The next 2 sessions will be held on April 30th and May 7th. See Mrs. Scribolo or Mrs. Smith if you have any questions. Calm Club has a meeting after school today in room 224 for Autism Awareness Month. They'll be watching an episode from the Netflix series Atypical, and food will be provided. All are welcome to help fight the mental health stigma.
The Black Student Association will meet tomorrow after school in room 261 to continue their mission of advocating for Black students and creating a unified high school community. All are welcome. That's all for school news. Now over to Alex with sports.
Thanks, guys. Today, the girls varsity tennis team takes on Brighton today away at 4. Girls varsity soccer takes on Howell today away at 7. Boys and girls varsity lacrosse both take on Canton today. The boys play at home at 6:30 and the girls play away at 7. Tomorrow, the girls varsity tennis team takes on Plymouth at home at 4. The boys varsity baseball and girls varsity softball teams both take the field against Plymouth. Both games will be at home and both will start at 4:30. Girls varsity lacrosse will take on Northville at home at 6:30, and boys varsity lacrosse will travel to take on Belleville away at 7. Go support your boys and go support your girls. In national sports, the Detroit Pistons have been eliminated from the playoffs after a 127-104 loss to the Bucks. They lost the series by getting swept 4 games to nothing. The Bucks will move on to the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Boston Celtics. That's all for your sports report. Now back to the desk.
We'll be back on Thursday with more Cat's Eye News. I'm Ryan Steele.
And I'm Wynn Scott. Have a great day, Novi.